Hey guys, I'm Matt Louis and welcome to my latest video. So, if you saw my video yesterday of games that I'm looking forward to in 2015, you'll know that that's what I did. I talked about the games I was looking forward to in 2015. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about the films and the movies that I'm going to be looking forward to this coming year. If you haven't seen my last video, I'll leave a link down in the description for you to go and check that out. So good, if you haven't seen it, go and check that out first, then come back here, because then you'll know what well, it's just another video if you haven't seen it. But without further ado, let's get into the video. The first film that I'm looking forward to is a film that people have been waiting for years and years and years, and when the trailer came out, everyone went a bit crazy. But that film is, of course, Star Wars The Force Awakens Episode 7. You know, obviously a lot of people were disappointed with the prequels. Me personally, I love the prequels. I love all the Star Wars films that there's been. I pretty much love everything Star Wars. I don't hate on it at all, really. I don't see the point in hating on something that's pretty much amazing and is pretty much most people's childhoods if they were born like after 1960, really. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this film. I want to see how J.J. Abrams approaches it. I want to see what he can do with the story, because obviously with the prequels you kind of already knew where they were ending up, because obviously it was going to end with Darth Vader becoming, well, Anakin Skywalker becoming Darth Vader, like it did. And yeah, it's basically, this one is completely different because he can go anywhere with this. He could make this amazing or he can make it shit. I mean, J.J. Abrams, he's made some great things over the years. He's made Alcatraz, Lost, did a great job on the Star Trek movies. He's just a great director, and I don't think he's gonna let us down at all. I think he's gonna deliver. The film's gonna be absolutely awesome. It's gonna create a new generation of Star Wars fans, because obviously if children see this, they'll be like, oh my god, I want to watch all the Star Wars films, and they become obsessed. Because in my opinion, no one's childhood is complete without some Star Wars. Let's be honest, if you haven't seen Star Wars, you probably had a very boring childhood. But yeah, only joking. If you haven't seen it, it's just one of those things that you have to have seen. I'm sorry, it's just, even if you just watched A New Hope, it's just, you've got to have seen it, really. So another film I'm looking forward to in 2015 is Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, if you've seen my predictions, trailer breakdown video that I did a couple of months ago, then you'll know that it looks like a cracking film, and I'm really excited to see what Marvel does next in follow-up to, obviously, the first Avenger. Then you had all the other films coming after, you know, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, those sorts of things. And I really can't wait for this new one, because the Ultron storyline is one of the most famous Avengers storylines, really, and obviously it's famous for a lot of deaths and a lot of, I wouldn't say controversial actions, but has a lot of interesting developments and develops the characters more than you'd previously seen before that storyline came out. I mean, obviously the Avengers always had interesting stories, but this one, for some reason, it just piques interest more, because it's pretty brutal, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I read a bit of the comics for the storyline, and Ultron is not someone to be messed around. Ultron's not low-key. He doesn't just, you know, mess around a bit, you know, maybe get some aliens in to try and invade the world, but just invade one city. No, Ultron just wants to kill everyone for the sake of it. He's not messing around. He wants blood. He does. He just wants to freaking pop motherfuckers and shit. He just wants to wreck everything, and that is a tough challenge for the Avengers, because Loki, he Loki's a bit of an anti-hero really sometimes, but he's nowhere near as brutal as Ultron, and I'm just looking forward to all the interesting developments and how they're going to implement the backstory of Ultron into Avengers. I know they're going to be doing it slightly differently with Tony Stark creating Ultron instead of Hank Pym, aka Ant-Man, but it's going to follow a similar kind of story. But I think the thing we're all interested in for this movie is basically Hulkbuster armour. I mean, Hulkbuster Iron Man armour. Who's not looking forward to that? Raise your hands if you're not looking forward to that. What? What is anyone? Nope, there's no one raising their hands. You know why? Because the Hulkbuster armour is fucking awesome. It really is. Come on, guys. Gotta watch that. You just gotta... If you don't know what the Hulkbuster armour is, just... You may as well just crawl into a pit and just, you know, melt away, you know, like freaking Wicked Witch of the West, because the Hulkbuster armor's awesome. But if you don't want to see what it looks like, just Google it and you'll be like, what? This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Another film I'm looking forward to in 2015 is the new James Bond movie, which is going to be called Spectre. Picking up from where Skyfall left off, I imagine, with obviously the new M and Daniel Craig still as James Bond. Is it Naomi Watts' Moneypenny, I think. Yeah, they've brought it back to a more classic setting, because obviously in the really, really old James Bond movies, you know, your Doctor No, your From Russia with Love, Thunderball, those sort of ones, it was a similar style. We had Moneypenny, you had a male M, you had James Bond, and you would go into, and it's just, I like the way at the end of Skyfall they set it up similar to that. Because obviously Casino Royale rebooted the franchise, and yeah, I mean, after watching Skyfall, it's one of the best James Bond movies I've seen since like Goldfinger, really. I mean, Goldfinger's probably the best one, but Skyfall is easily the second best. It just, for a rebooted movie, it's just absolutely incredible. It was funny, it was witty, the action was great, and it wasn't overdone. I think in Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, they kind of lost the classic James Bond feeling in those a little bit, and it was more, well, Quantum of Solace was certainly more about revenge, and it just had way too much action. Like, obviously action's great, obviously in an action movie you need action, surprisingly enough, but there's a point where you kind of go over the limit. Like, it's if you have, say you have Weetabix and you put sugar on your Weetabix. When you put a little bit of sugar on it, it's quite nice, but when you put too much sugar, it's just no, it's just horrible. I mean, that's kind of what happened in Quantum of Solace, but hopefully if they follow suit with what they did in Skyfall, in Spectre, it's going to be an even better movie. And finally, the last movie that I'm looking forward to in 2015 is Terminator Genesis, which they kind of spelled Genesis weirdly, but yeah, I don't even know why they've spelled it like that, but they've spelled it differently. But basically, it's kind of like no, it's not a reboot. It follows on from the story of the Terminator movies. I think they're kind of forgetting about Terminator Salvation, because that was just meh. Like, they're kind of just missing out that, and they've brought, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger back, and they've kind of gone to, I think it's like an alternate version of what happened in the first Terminator. No, sort of. Wait, I'm so confused. Yeah, alternate version of the first Terminator, that's what it is. And it's all time travel-y stuff, but if you really want to know the ins and outs of that, go check the trailer out, because it'll tell you exactly what the deal is with the plot. But it does look like a really interesting one, and after Terminator Salvation, they need to fix this franchise. I mean, Terminator 1, 2, and even Terminator 3 alone, a lot of people didn't like it. I loved it. 1, 2 and 3, absolutely amazing. Salvation was just like, I literally don't even know how to describe it. It was just a bad movie, and hopefully they can rectify it as soon as possible. But again, guys, hope you have enjoyed today's video. In the next few days, I'm going to be doing videos like looking back at 2014 and picking the best bits from that year, in terms of movies, games, sport, music, that sort of thing. But leave a like if you did enjoy this video, comment down below on what films you're looking forward to this year, subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I'll see you next time guys. Take care.